Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Duskmourn Chronicles. We return after a fairly lengthy Xmas break. Now, I do hope that you enjoyed watching Mage Hunter. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. It's 8 episodes of pure entertainment. Now, the Chronicles continue. When our heroes were last around, things weren't so great. But to remind us of exactly how not great they were, Dice of Destiny is going to tell us exactly what's going on. That's a 17, and that is Grace.
Okay, so looking back on my notes and hoping I've written right things, we went down into the catacombs and we were led by Aru, who has now become our property as we've done some dealing with the architect. We hopefully staved off massacring all of the slaves down in the catacombs, hopefully. And we have made our way down into the depths where we were told by Aru, through various translations, that their money had been stolen by people who it was their jurisdiction now, which sounded very strange to our Kelly's hero lot because why on earth would anything be out of their jurisdiction? So this is what might have been a human called Selkos, who is a big, beefy, destroyed being. And they have a really cool staff and lots of magic that we didn't realize because we saw 4 archers and we were like, hey, let's go for it. Let's kill off this horrible person who's stolen money from the slaves. And then we got attacked by about 30 hidden archers. We were all blinded, apart from Gottfried, who sent off a little airball. And while our party of guards, Kelly's heroes, are getting us to retreat as Gottfried has cleared the route behind us. But yeah, 3 of us are blinded. So it's
right.
really bad.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. It's like a holiday in South Wales. So
It's a lovely place, South Wales, you bastard.
Oh, we love you, Wales. We love you, Wales. All right. Okay, so that is where we are at. If you're wondering why we're not sitting around the table like we normally are, well, schedules, life, and stuff. So you'll just have to accept it for now. We will be around the table as soon as we can. On that note, what are you doing? You are all moving in absolute panic. And so what you're going to do for me, because I cannot remember for the life of me what it was, y'all going to roll initiative for me, please.
Oh, God.
But of course.
Do I have any dice nearby?
Yeah.
That would be a natural 20.
Okay,
A natural
the only
20.
dice I have within reach are these teeny tiny little ones, so I'm going to roll those.
No, they look very Christian.
It's a battle axe.
It's a battle axe. Oh, it's super cool.
I thought it was a cross.
23 in total.
I got a 12.
Oh, and you got a 12. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, where the heck is this thing? Right, so let's just do a recap. Avery, you got 23. Godfrey, you got 12.
Yes, sir.
Gemini?
17.
Duran?
18.
18. And I got 16 plus 5 is 21. Okay, great stuff. All right, so Avery the Blinded, what are you doing?
So we're backing away currently, aren't we? Surrounded by Kelly's heroes and a lot of angry people raining down arrows and aggression our way.
That's correct.
What was the name of our chap who was with us? Not the Kelly's folks. Who was the
Aru.
one?
Aru.
Aru. Right.
Now technically the
I'm
property
going
of
to-
Duran.
I'm going to hope that I'm grasping around behind me, trying to pull at Doran's hem. And they go, shall I do the thing with the vanishing and the calling for help?
Yeah, I guess as a free action, Doran will feel Avaradus' hands slapping him and say, "Get the hell out of here, Avaradus! Take Aru, get help!" And I'm going to shout at him the Sagetti word I learned from Kelly, our guide when he said in the last episode, "Vashtam," to the Aru, which means something like "We need your help." So I'm going to tell Avaratus, "Get help, Vashtam, get help," and kind of push him away.
Okay. Now, while blinded, I'm going to try and grab a root. I hope that's a root I grab. And I'm going to cast Dimension Door. Teleport
right.
back up the way we came, up to 500 feet away. And
You're more than
try
500 feet into these slave quarters, I'm afraid.
Well, an area that we've passed other slaves by, hopefully a gaggle.
Oh, all right.
If
Yes,
my memory
sure.
serves me.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to teleport back to that location and get Aru to. I'm going to try and. Does Aru speak? I don't think he does he?
Not
So
common, no, I
Things
don't
have been
believe so.
translated by Kelly for us.
That and the fact that I think both of us are blind.
Yes. I'd like you to roll a d6, please.
How this goes, shall we? Here we go. D6. That's a 1. Was a 1 good or bad?
Oh my god, I've just rolled a 1 as well. You and Aru actually do manage to disappear together. You didn't grab somebody else. All right. You have vanished 500 feet away and find yourself and Aru in a very quiet area. You can vaguely hear shouting in the background, but nothing else. Aru is very, very, very shaken. And you can hear his stertorous breathing as he has no idea what the hell is going on or what he should be doing in this situation at this moment in time.
You mean he's not in control of every situation he's in?
Perhaps Everardus is not accustomed to how slavery works. So, Selkos and his troops get to act. Unfortunately, they are no longer attacking because most of you are blind. They are now doing something else. You do hear Selkos, well, not Selkos himself. It seems to be one of his underlings, and his underling sounds to most of you. Godfrey, you can see him. They've opened the doors to that compound. And the underling is strolling out, followed by 10 very large thugs. And he's walking forward and he says, "I do hope that you all run. It's so much more of a fun game."
Right. Don't really know what to do about that. Who's next?
Doran is next.
Oh, great. Can I tremor sense as a free action, guy?
Is it a free action?
It's a resource that you use per long rest. So okay.
Yeah.
So this means when I look up in the rules glossary, I can locate creatures and moving objects within a specific range,
Right.
provided that they're touching the ground. So
Sure. It's pretty much
Doran
everyone.
activates his bat sense, and he has an idea of where these people around him are, and also I assume also the kind of empty space where we might flee to. So I'm going to activate Stone Cunning, and then I'm going to do a Channel Divinity and start and push out my Twilight Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
So at the start of everyone's turn in the Twilight Sanctuary, you're going to get 11 temporary hit points. And I'm going to start ushering and pulling and dragging the people along with me with a kind of sense of where we're going now, away from these thugs. Trying to find a hole or a doorway or some type of place we can hole up in.
Okay. All right. Not a problem. Finding holes and doors and things is a problem in terms of you're not sensing anything. It all just presents itself as solid, right? It's only if there's something actually moving.
Tremor sense.
That you are aware of.
I mean, if it's
So-
called Tremor Sense, and we think about Tremors the film, it's Really graboid sense.
Graboid sense, yes. All right, so that's what you're doing. You are trying to move along the line. Godfried, you and Gemini. Gemini, you're next.
Okay, so that, even though she can't see them, that person sounds like an absolute slime ball and she hates being told what to do. So she says under her breath, you're the one who'll be doing the running, and I'm going to cast Fear at 3rd level. So they're going to see, from what I've heard Godfrey describe of these weird sand dragons, they are going to see one of those erupt from where we are. It's a 30-foot cone, and each creature within it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened for the duration and must take the dash action to move away to the safest possible route.
So...
Or do they not fear it because their master's got a staff that controls it?
No, it's not so much that. It's more that it's a cone, which means you need to direct the cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, I mean, she's a bard. She's got a great
she's a
ear.
bard. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to
she's
give
got
me
an
a
idea of
perception
where they
check.
can-
Yeah,
Okay,
give me a
thank
perception
you.
check. Give me a
We
perception
actually
check.
ended the last episode with his words saying finish them as well. So in theory, you would have just heard.
Correct.
Perception. Oh, yeah, okay. 15?
Yeah, I'd give it to you on a 15. Okay, so they all have to make saving throws. Is that correct?
That is correct. I've got
wisdom
a
saving throw.
DC
Yeah.
of 16.
Nice. And they all rolled a 12, so they're feared. So they move away from you. So they basically scurry back through the doorway that they've just sauntered through, going, I think I left my sword. Something along those lines, anyway. And so they withdraw.
Snappy.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of dragon thing. Gottfried.
All right, so I can still see.
Yes.
So what I would like to do is summon my manifest mind in my book, above them somewhere. Is there a vaulted ceiling or something?
Oh yes. Yes.
So I'll pop that up there. That's a bonus action. I'm moving with the people, and I'm trying to usher the blind people in the right direction.
Right.
But the main thing I want to do is I want to. This is a bonus action to manifest the mind, and I'm going to summon my friend, this guy, Mindy. Between us and our pursuers, essentially. So Mindy, the mind player.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm saying okay. Okay.
Sorry.
let's see where this is
Yes.
going.
So the mind player will appear. This is the Aberrant Spirit spell. Just going to stick him between us and their pursuers, and he can start doing horrible things to them.
All right.
He's gonna go-
MVP.
He's going to start doing horrible things to them. That brings us to the end of the round. Those of you that are blind, you may all make saving throws against blindness.
Although I do think he acts just after me.
Does he get to act the round that you sent him? Okay. That's great.
I think so.
Is that a Constitution saving throw?
Save. It is, yeah.
That's an 18 for Gemini.
You are no longer blinded.
Woo!
21. I roll better digitally than I do physically. Which is very
You are
impressive.
no longer blinded.
Will an 11 do it, Guy?
No, you are still blinded. Sorry for you.
Visually
Shall
blind.
I
have my
roll
tremor
for
sense.
Aru?
Okay.
Yes, go ahead. Roll for Aru. He has a whole +1.
14.
14. He's still blinded. Okay. The arrows have stopped because everyone thought that Selkos's lieutenant was going to come and sort you out. He's now done a full withdraw, claiming that there's a giant dragon. Everyone looks over the wall and sees a mind flayer, not a dragon, but that's still terrifying in its own right. And so you hear the doors banging shut as you scamper down what you all think is the safest possible alleyway into sort of what looks to be a rat's nest of buildings that have got multi-layers and sort of bridges and things across them, but they all look quite abandoned. They haven't been lived in for quite some time. And it's easy enough to kick in a door and sort of all pile in and barricade the door and just be very, very quiet. Doesn't sound like anyone's following you. Kelly will immediately dispatch his men to form a perimeter and keep watch for any sign of movement. That was bad. He says as he turns to the three of you, because you're not there. Avery, what are you doing?
Opening my eyes and having a look around.
You're in a fairly empty area of the slave quarters. No one likes to live anywhere near Selkos. So at 500 feet, you're at the poorest of the poor slaves. These are slaves that are so either old or useless that no one will even look at them, let alone provide anything for them. They live literally on the charity of slaves.
Doesn't sound like a rallying army.
No, sadly. No, they are literally armed with loincloths if they're lucky.
Okay. I'm trying to look less menacing because I'm aware that two of us just popped into their midst. I, for one, was probably screaming. And I I gently rotate Aru to be facing me, aware that he's still blinded. You go, Aru, my good man, are you well? Can you understand me? Are we able to figure this out between us?
Shel Dadash, Maharaj.
Okay, here we go. Vash Dam.
You got a phrase book or something? What's going on?
Doran gave me the one phrase, get help.
Yeah, we need your help. That's what Kelly said to him as we were walking through the tunnel before.
Blinded Aru bows in your general direction. And so Aru kind of vaguely, slowly wanders off to go and try and find help. Very slowly. That's his plan. He will follow your orders until he dies. That's what's happening over there. And so I'm going to just roll a dice for no reason whatsoever. Thank God, it's only a 7. That means we are now sitting with Doran.
Well, I mean, this is bad, friends. This is bad. We gotta do something here. And the only thing that Doran can think to do is to try and make a little safe haven for us for a little bit to recollect and regather. So he's going to start ritually casting Doran's tiny temple. It's going to take us. It's going to take a minute for him to put up all the ionic columns. So hopefully, after a minute, if we don't get attacked, we'll have a Leomund's tiny hut that we can retreat into.
Okay.
And is anyone? Well, that's my action, so I can't do anything else.
Oh, okay. Great. It wasn't rolling 10d20 for no reason. There was a reason. It's a secret. Gemini, are you doing anything this round? Or for the next 10, I should say, while we wait for Duran to do his thing.
I will... I'm going to use... where has it gone? I know I've got something scare that can hide things. What did I use before? I think I used Phantasmal Force before. If I could, I basically want to help with the illusion that where we've run into has... It looks like there's no way that any good of body could have possibly come through this way, is what she's
Fair
trying
enough.
to create.
I like that. Not a problem. That's
Like
good.
Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible when he's going down the
Yeah.
corridor.
Yeah. I like that. Gottfried?
So for the next 10 rounds, I want to check out what's going on through the manifest mind. I can see and hear everything that's going on in that chamber. And I want
Right.
Mindy to cause as much chaos as possible. And what I'd
Yes.
like it to do is focus on minions, try to knock out as many minions as possible. Just kill dudes.
And the stats are of a mind flare.
No, it's a very particular set of stats.
Okay.
Basically, it has 40 hit points, armor class 15, has multi-attack, does somewhere in the region of, has plus 9 to hit, does somewhere in the region of like 12 on average damage with each attack.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a whispering aura that does another 2d6 damage on a failed saving throw. So he's just going to, hurt people.
Yes.
Be scary.
Okay.
Hurt people, be
I
scary.
like it.
And I just want to keep, try to get a sense of what's going on. Are they pressing the attack? Are they regrouping what they're doing? Through the manifest mind, which is up in the ceiling. Now they can see that, but they can't do anything to it. So
They can't do anything to it. Well, the
No.
manifest mind, yes, but the
Yes.
Mindy,
they
they
can
can.
beat the shit
and they
out
can
of
attack.
Mindy. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what you see eventually is Mindy's just slaughtering men left, right, and center. And at about 11 men down, Salkos has now waded into the battle. And he raises his staff and just obliterates Mindy.
Can I ask Mindy to, as he goes, just say, "I'll be back."
Yeah, sure. In deep speech, I'm guessing, or
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, some sort of
I mean,
And
that's
then
what
it
Arnold
disappears.
speaks in, right?
So, Salkos looks up at your floating presence and says, "I want to talk."
I can't speak through it, so
No.
he's just gonna have to wait.
Yeah, he doesn't look as if he's expecting you to talk through it. He just sort of looks up at it as if as if it's like a security camera. I want to talk, and then he turns and leaves.
Okay.
Outside, you hear some scuffling, some grunting. In the meantime, Moritati, who is one of Kelly's men, has moved amongst you all and has restored to anybody who has lost it 25 hit points.
Andy.
And none of you are blinded. You are immediately removed. He cures the blindness as well.
He's handy.
Yeah, Moritati. Meanwhile, Avery, Aru has found a beggar who is listening to Aru's story. And you think they're conversing. They not think they're conversing. They are conversing, but you think you can tell what they're conversing about. But that will require an insight check, if you please.
18 to insight.
Definitely strikes you that Aru is asking for help. The beggar is, or this individual that's with him is basically saying, well, how can we help? What could we possibly do? And Aru's asked him for something which he is reluctant to do because it seems as if it might put him in danger. But Aru is being quite emphatic about the whole thing.
Okay. Sounds like we... Rue, I don't mean to rush you, but our friends are dying downstairs. Is there anything you need from me to speed this process up? Vash dam, man, vash dam.
He says, "I'm Vash damming. Give me a break."
The slave that he's talking to, oh my goodness, looks up at you and says, "You require help, sir."
Oh, thank goodness. Yes, absolutely. Our compatriots, they're trapped by a group of ruffians.
You mean the warlord Selkos' men?
Yes, he's using some sort of magical staff to blow through all of us. We can't. I don't know how much longer they're going to survive.
You should already consider them to be dead, sir. Selkos has raided many of the ancient tombs in the area and has many powerful items. That is why he controls this whole area. You and your slave were lucky to escape.
Right. Okay. And do you know of any ways around where we just came from? Are there any secret tunnels or anything down below we can navigate, try and check on our friends?
What you ask is impossible, I'm afraid, sir. They have the whole area locked down tightly. If you are a rich man, perhaps you might try and buy them back from Selkos. He is all about money.
Which is with my other friends. Although, well, some coin on me. Okay. Do you think you could be enticed to gather a few willing souls for good pay? My worry is that some of the men who we had fighting with us, they are upstanding Sajeti citizens. And if they die down here, there may be retribution brought down upon you, which we are trying to avert. I don't want any more bloodshed.
When you say for reasonable pay,
I have on me 900 gold. You can have the lot.
his eyes widen. It will take me 10 minutes, sir.
Then I shall have to see if 10 minutes will be enough time for us to survive. Go, please.
He scurries off as best he can. Give another blindness save for Aru. Nope, still blind. Okay, poor old Aru. Meanwhile, your temple is complete, Durin, and you are hiding within it.
Yes, I'm inviting everyone inside to be inside this lovely little temple. It's got incense smell. It's got little rosaries hanging around the place, little purple curtains. It's very nice.
It's paradise in comparison to the horrendous stench of human existence that is down here. Kelly comes up to you. It seems that we lost little Jotep. This is very sad.
Damn it.
I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. I shall say a prayer for him. We can rest here, Kelly. If you bring your men inside this space, they'll be safe for up to 8 hours. We can regroup, come up with a plan, and figure out what to do next.
It seems that Selkos's men have left. They're no longer prowling for us.
I'll relay the fact that this Selkos guy has offered a parley. Not that I think we can trust him. Also, I can escape this place, or have one of us escape this place in gaseous form, should that become advisable.
Good to know. What do we think? Should we try and bargain with this warlord? Or do we cut our losses and try a different way? I'm so sorry that you had to lose one of your team, Kelly.
Indeed.
It was in the line of duty. It's okay.
Should we try and retrieve his body?
No. He would not wish us to risk anything for him. He's also
This is
dead.
The custom of the Sajeti. If he was recently dead, there is something I could do for him. But if it is not in your custom, then tell me, and I will not.
The custom of the Sajeti would be to take his body and spend a vast fortune on it, making sure that it is preserved for all time. Little Jotep would not wish this on his family. Leave his body where it is.
I think we might know where a big fortune is. Doran says under his breath. My feeling is that if this Selkos has offered a chance to talk, I mean, we should at least take it. But we need to make sure, if Gottfried, if there's going to be you going there, for instance, that you can escape easily. And if you have this form, this spell to turn into a gas and escape, that is a good thing. Don't forget, we have this temple here for 8 hours. It is a safe haven for us. God knows what Avaradus is doing, but we can bargain our way past this guy. Maybe we can at least try. What do you think, Gemini?
I can certainly be very persuasive, but he seemed to have some sort of protection around him. I'm not sure whether even my charms could permeate that.
I think I'd like to take the risk of speaking to him. I have 1 or 2 ways I can use to escape if it's a trap. I don't like
What
the
if
idea.
you take me with you?
Well, if you would be at your own resources, I can save myself, but I won't be able to help you.
Right.
I don't particularly like the idea of leaving the Selkos to a victory and to retain his dominion over these unfortunate people. So I would like to see what he has to say, and perhaps in the process I can, I will pry his thoughts a little bit and see if I can find some vulnerability.
Let's not forget that the last time we were in a pickle, our friend Avaradus rode out of the city at the front of a centaur army. I wonder what he's going to do this time.
He will be as predictable as he always is, I'm sure. Let's hope that when he returns, it isn't with a bigger problem. What I would like to do at first is at least spend an hour. I can do a little recovery of magical power, and then maybe perhaps we try this parley.
20 minutes later, Avaradus, you are now the proud owner of 90 individuals.
What is it with you, man?
They are... Between them, you doubt that there are more than 80 legs, 60 hands. Aru is no longer the only individual who cannot see. Most of these slaves are in a very bad state. What you are offering them in terms of 10 gold each will change their lives forever, basically. It's more money than they've earned in years.
They say a problem shared is a problem halved. Times that by 90, we might just make it.
What's
Don't
your
sign
plan,
for them until
sir?
you've inspected the packaging.
I would shout 2 arms, but it would be quite insensitive.
Indeed.
The severed limbs?
Okay. I'm gonna give the ragtag bunch of fighting. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna give the warm bodies at least a look over just to see who amongst them is armed with anything.
They have, at best, a shiv or a club. A rock. That's it. You doubt that any of these could sustain more than 1 hit with a sword.
My friend, you who helped me gather such a mighty army. What is your name?
I am called Z.
Z? Last letter of the alphabet, first among my men.
That is a great honor that you provide me with.
You shall ride by my side as we run towards this foe, charging headlong into danger for glory, for gold, and whatever awaits you on the other side of this life, I'm sure. And with that rousing speech, come then, let's charge! I turn and I
start running and hope that Z and everyone follows with.
He's translating. Charging is, you realize very, very quickly, you would outstrip them in a heartbeat. Their movement is probably 15 feet around. Most of these are old, and they're old for Sagetti, so they've been in service for 500 years of hard labor.
A few paces down.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I let my excitement. I led one of these recently. Very different circumstances. Let's go at your pace.
All right. And you march back to the Selkos compound.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, we do.
Meanwhile, everybody else is still sitting looking at Gottfried, who's still spending his hour.
Yeah, I just want to do an arcane recovery thing. So if I get a short rest.
Sure thing. Unless the rest of you are going to intervene. Nope. Avaradus, you and your motley gang arrive at the gates and are once again greeted by Selkos, who stands atop them. You are not the one I expected.
No, we're here to parley.
Then what is your parley?
I don't even see.
Was the body? Well, what does the ground look like? Does it look like that of a massacre? Are there bodies strewn about, as I would expect, if my drag marks on the floor indicating that some of my compatriots were taken prisoner, perhaps?
There are definitely bloody trails leading back into the compound. Of that, there is no doubt.
I don't see any evidence that my friends were left alive, but if it is within your power to do so, I would bargain for their lives.
You can see a big shining ball in the sky. Maurice's ever in mind.
Well, I think that's probably gone by now.
It's probably gone. Yeah, it's been half an hour.
It is, let's see.
Well, while you do that, you can give an insight check, Scott, as you say this.
It's only an 11.
Yeah. And what would you bargain?
Actually, it's still there.
Okay.
This thing is incredible. Yeah, it's still there.
Even though you're taking a short rest?
Yeah, it doesn't require any concentration from me. It just sits there. I don't even have to use an action for it to transmit its data, so to speak, back to me. It's a little creepy. So then I would see him arrive with all these poor buggers, right?
Yeah. Yes, whilst you're resting. So as long as you don't have a emotionally strong reaction to it.
No, I think I'd be mildly amused.
Fair.
And I would know that.
Here we go.
That's going to stay up unless you were dead. Or what about unconscious? If you're unconscious, would it disappear?
Well, you wouldn't know. I don't think you'd know. You know what I mean? No. It's not something I would have shared with you. It is characteristic of, it's got this green and gold weird face. So, you'd know it was my manifest mind.
Yeah. I know what it is. I just don't know the ins and outs. But it gives me hope that you're alive at the very least.
Yeah.
Well, I do have 90 freshly procured slaves of the finest stock,
but I shan't be bartering with them. I feel like that would be unfair. Nor would he probably be interested in them.
Exactly, because if he was, he would have taken them.
Yeah. I have the ear of the Emperor. And the General.
I do not collect ears.
A figure of speech. I have their political backing. That, you seem like a man who likes to collect powerful artifacts, weapons, and people useful to you. I can be very useful to you.
The only value that a person has is the meat on their bones or the labor on their back. You are right about the artifacts. An artifact cannot betray you. You telling me that you can speak to the Emperor? So what? What are you going to say? Don't send anyone down here to stop me. They haven't sent anyone down here in years.
I feel that you think quite small for such a big man. Your ambitions could be far grander than what you currently achieve. What you hold, this, to be frank, shithole, this is as best as a man as powerful as you can achieve? That's rather pathetic for what you just did to us. You could have a lot more.
So this is 20 minutes into my short rest that this conversation is happening. I think it's worth blowing my short rest. I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts through the mind. Manifest mind. And I want to read Zalkos's thoughts so I can check, because I can hear all this. So
Are you telling us any of this which was going on? What you can see.
Yeah, I relate it in general terms, and then I'll say, look, I'm going to do something. It's a bit risky. And I'm going to try that. So the first thing, when I cast a spell to read his mind, first I'm just scanning his surface thoughts as he speaks. So I'll know if he's got a subtext or a lie thing going on. I'm not going to probe just yet.
His surface thoughts are he is wondering where the surprise attack is going to come from whilst this buffoon dances in front of him.
Right. There's a fucking visual clue over your head, sunshine. Anyway. Okay. I'll let the conversation continue, and I'll continue to see if I can, read his, find a vulnerability here.
I am curious what you are hoping to achieve by insulting my position.
I'm grounding you before offering you more than you've ever dreamt of.
Yet you do not possess this with you now. Am I correct?
No, but
how convenient.
I think you need a thinking man on your side to give you the inspiration you need to achieve goals beyond your wildest dreams.
You are correct. But you are also out of luck. Nah! Come here. And this wizened old man hobbles up to him, this old Sagetti. Nah here was once a great scholar. Definitely a thinking man. You would take his position?
In a heartbeat.
He places his hand against Na'a's head, and Na'a's head explodes, and the body drops to the floor.
How predictable.
Consider the position yours.
Don't disappoint me.
Can I ask, what was going through his head when he did that? Like, was it a spell? Was it was he calling on an item?
No, it was an activation of a magic item.
Jesus, guy's got some kit. All right.
But the rest of your rabble are not going to be thinking, so they may go.
They have promised me their lives in service and through great courage in the face of danger. They have proved themselves worthy. They can be more useful to you.
Give me a deception check, because the coughing from several of the individuals behind you would indicate that the only thing that they've given you so far is a communicable disease.
Oh, it was almost a 10.
A 10, yes. You are not a very good liar.
I wasn't speaking of their physical prowess. A fool could see that they're not exactly... God, I think I've caught something. I don't think they're, well, they're not up for much. But put a few of these on the right corner, and they can feed back to you all kinds of information.
Fine, so I shall send them to their corners. You are not entering this structure with them.
Okay, and I turn to Z, and I say, and I hand him my bag of, well, it's 925 gold pieces.
Oh.
Little bonus for him. Keep the change. Z, You've done me a great service, and you showed great courage. And although your lives did not need to be laid down this day, I hope that you remain loyal, and I can count on you and this group of brave-hearted souls to come to our aid should we need it.
His hand tightens around the bag, and he looks at you and he says, "With the greatest of respect, you said you did not want to lose any more lives when you engaged us. Now
I
you're
didn't
just
want to,
saying
but
that we didn't have to lay down our lives for you?"
Yeah, I was saying I didn't want to spend them, but that was very much on the table.
I wish you well with Selkos. I think you are cut from the same camel.
In broad terms, not verbatim.
Yeah.
And I will. I'll just put the following possibility to you guys. Should I just fireball this guy again? Because I have a bead on him, I can just chuck a fireball through the manifest mind. At least give him something to think about.
Doesn't he have some sort of shield around him? He has all these complex magical items. We don't know what he has on his sleeve.
No.
Potentially, Avaradus is going to be able to get us in a different way.
Yeah, so
Bargaining.
my idea is essentially that while this man is occupied with the fact that the air around him turns into fire, Avaradus could make his escape. I'm hoping that he won't be able to anticipate the attack because he's busy, he's talking. And, if nothing else, we give him something to think about. And if he is able to simply deflect it, well, that's something we've learned.
We have, Guy, from memory, we did see him deflect quite a bit before, didn't we?
There's a little golden scarab on his chest.
Yeah, it was kind of a counterspell job, wasn't it? I bet that thing has charges.
Yes,
He's
how many?
He's got a coat filled with them.
Yeah, there's a little magic item called a Scarab of Protection in D&D, and I'm wondering, it looked mighty familiar. 12 charges.
I'm going to sit here and cast missile 12 times.
I am certainly of the want to burn this man down. However, I feel like he's far more protected than we have the firepower to go against. If Avaradus has indeed managed to use his powers of persuasion and become this Selkos's right-hand man, then maybe they will grant us passage to where we need to go.
Okay, so you want to continue the palais, essentially, and use Avaradus as a little...
If it's working.
Very well.
Surely, if this is a warlord who loves trinkets and wonderful things, then they would be very happy if we were to venture deeper into the catacombs and get things perhaps he's not been able to procure as yet.
Well, this is exactly
point.
what I was thinking as well, Gemini. If I'm thinking about the purpose of us being down here, it is to get to the Crepuscularium.
Indeed.
This guy Selkos, he's our enemy, but sometimes enemies can be friends. He is very powerful. He has a large group. There may be a way that they could help us to delve deeper into this labyrinth for the price of some trinkets or gold at the end of it. Can we use him?
I think we may have to.
Okay, in that case, I may go in and speak to him now while the detect thoughts is still in effect. And I'll offer that bargain that we'll essentially buy our way through his area of control to get where we want and promise him payment in return. Does that
I
sound
feel
about-
like you'll have more success if I come as your backup.
Very well. Okay.
Don't say anything about the dragon, Gottfried. That's the ace in the hole from our perspective.
I intend to tell this man nothing at all. Okay, so I will literally just, with myself and Gemini, will just go out there and make ourselves known.
All right. Well, it'll take you some time to get there. Avaradus, in the meantime, the doors are opened, and that slimy lieutenant that you saw before is standing there. So, you've managed to get yourself in. Pity. I was going to enjoy hunting you down. Still, Welcome to the club.
I wonder, is your position available too?
Oh, I see. We are going to be very close. What is the word in your tongue? Lovers. No?
Well, you said a
Enemies.
Something
He
like
takes
that.
you to Selkos, and Selkos is no longer on the gatekeep. He is now down in the compound. You can see the compound is pretty well built on the inside. They've got some pretty luxurious stuff going on. There's a freshwater fountain that's sparkling and pumping out fresh water. There's incense burners everywhere, filling the air with sweet-smelling aromas of jasmine. The compound is just is a completely different space to the rest of the slave territories. And as you arrive at Selkos, he nods to one of his other folk who comes scurrying forward, holding a tray. And on the tray is this sort of, it looks like a gold ring with a ruby eye in it, which he plucks and then he holds out to you.
What is this?
It is a token of your loyalty to me. All of my associates wear them. And even the slimy lieutenant holds up his hand and shows you his gold ring with the ruby inset. It does look remarkably well made and very old.
I really don't want to. I have minor illusion. I'm going to use sleight of hand to palm it, and I'm going to cast a minor illusion to make it look like I'm wearing the ring.
Go ahead, give me a sleight of hand check, as one criminal overlord and his lieutenant are standing watching.
Please don't get me killed. Oh, come on. It's a 14.
14. Well, the lieutenant is convinced. Oh, yeah. Selkos sadly is not. If you don't want to wear the ring, that's fine. You don't have to wear the ring. We'll just cut off all of your fingers.
In the circles in which I operate, the right-hand men that we have fingers on their hands. That and the relationship between generals is generally earned. We earn the respect of our peers where I'm from.
He gives you the face. The way he looks at you, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
You get the sense that either you're putting the ring on or you're going to lose your digits.
In this case, I concede. I'll put on the ring.
All right, you put the ring on. There. That wasn't so hard, was it?
Physically, no. And yet, I am taxed by
Of course.
by your low esteem of me.
Don't you mean you are taxed because I now own you? Gottfried, you and Gemini are slowly making your way towards the compound.
Yes.
Any plans?
So I know that
you've seen Avaradas go into the compound,
Yeah.
and you've seen him stand looking at Selkos and the lieutenant outside of one of the larger structures, and it looks as if he's put something on, with great reluctance.
Yeah. So my detect thoughts only lasts for a minute. So in that last few, I basically just want to read all the thoughts I can before it expires.
Yes, he's still his thoughts are he is still waiting for the surprise attack.
Okay, so in the last, let's say, 20 seconds of the detect
Yes.
thoughts. I want to pry further to see what if I can find.
He gets a saving throw for that, right?
He gets a second. So he get actually these days.
Yes, these days. Yes, 5.24. What do we get?
Your target makes a wisdom saving throw. Yeah, just a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Son of a. Okay.
He doesn't even say anything to detecting your presence. He just kicks you out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we just continue and try and do this in person, I suppose.
You also get to the gates. As you were about to be led into the compound, Avaradus, there's another call. Sir, someone approaches. At least that's what it would be if you spoke Sejeti. And Selkos once again climbs up the stairs, although this time you have to accompany him. You are the thinking of this operation, are you not?
That's correct.
So how would I defeat your friends?
Is there any way you can interject some sort of really devastating emotional damage on them? Something that links to their tragedy of their past?
Do they have children?
No. Not that I'm.
Do they have wives?
Actually, that's a fair point. There is a child, technically.
Shut up, man.
The DM feels all slimy and evil on that statement. Thanks, player. Where is this child?
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
But you are thinking.
Oh, I'll think on it. Don't worry.
He turns to look at Gemini and Gottfried.
I do have
Hello.
Hi there. I do have another slot left. A second other slot. As he's walking up, just before he appears at the ramparts, can I throw another detect thoughts up?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm afraid we got off to the wrong foot. Gemini is just kind of trying to be really wonderful and friendly and charming as Gottfried's eyes narrow as he seems to be thinking about something. I think all of this is just a big old misunderstanding. And it seems you've got a dear friend of mine in your employ now. I wonder, could we just have a little chat and just have a little bargain?
I wonder what sort of bargain you will offer me.
I literally just did a bargain to get you guys back. And then you're there. Not even dead.
I'm going to give Everardus the most withering of looks.
Because if you don't offer me a bargain that is suitable, I will find your child and end it. And we'll be back next week because this episode was happy. And then someone offered up, how would you cause emotional trauma to the party? It's like, okay, I'm not saying anybody, but I'm saying sometimes the DM doesn't want to do what has to happen. Anyway, all right, well, great, lovely. So glad to be playing with you guys again. Right. Number 4, favorite moment. Well, that's me. My favorite moment. What was my favorite moment? Being entrapped by a player into being an even eviler and nastier creature? No, I think my favorite moment is being able to be back playing with you guys again and seeing where we go and where all the craziness goes. And then watching Avaradus negotiate to get himself into the compound and then you guys arriving to negotiate to get your... It's the usual wonderful chaos, and I'm so glad that we're playing again.
But you don't know what Doran's doing, so...
Oh, there are so many things I could say right now, but I'm no longer Selkos. I need to be nice. Anyway, folks, it's been a pleasure. We will see you again next week when we continue. Until then, from all of us, goodbye.
Bye-bye.